Isabella was a vibrant woman in her early 50s, known for her warmth and generosity. She had dedicated her life to her family, always putting their needs above her own. She lived in a cozy house in the suburbs, which she had painstakingly decorated over the years to reflect the love and happiness that once filled it. However, life had taken a cruel turn when she was diagnosed with a severe illness. Her world crumbled as she grappled with the reality of her deteriorating health and the indifference of her loved ones. Despite her declining condition, Isabella tried to remain positive. She continued to care for her home, cherishing the memories it held. Her husband, Michael, had been supportive initially, but as her illness progressed, he became increasingly distant. Their 2 children, Mark and Emily, both in their 20s, had moved out to pursue their own lives, seldom visiting their ailing mother. Isabella's health worsened, and she became bedridden. Michael, overwhelmed by the burden of caregiving, hired a nurse to take care of her. The nurse, Anna, was a kind and compassionate woman who quickly became a confidant to Isabella. They spent hours talking about life, family, and the pain of being abandoned by those she loved most. One day, Isabella confided in Anna about her heartbreak. "It's not just the illness that hurts," she said, tears streaming down her face. "It's the loneliness. Knowing that the people I've given my life to have turned their backs on me when I need them the most." Anna, moved by Isabella's plight, tried to comfort her. "You are a wonderful person, Isabella. Sometimes people don't realize what they have until it's gone. But your love and kindness won't be forgotten." Isabella knew her time was running out, and she decided to take matters into her own hands. She began to work on a plan that would ensure her family remembered her and regretted their neglect. With Anna's help, she contacted a lawyer and made arrangements for her estate. She knew that the inheritance she would leave behind could be a powerful message to her family. As weeks turned into months, Isabella's condition continued to decline. Anna remained by her side, providing not only medical care but also emotional support. During one of their conversations, Isabella revealed her plan. "I want to leave something behind that will make them understand the pain they've caused me," she said. "I want them to learn that love and family should never be taken for granted." Anna, though hesitant at first, agreed to help Isabella execute her plan. They worked together to finalize the details, ensuring that everything was in place for when the time came. Isabella's lawyer was discreet and efficient, understanding the importance of her wishes. In her final days, Isabella found solace in the thought that her message would be heard. She spent her remaining time reflecting on her life, finding peace in the memories of happier times. Surrounded by the love and care of Anna, she passed away quietly in her sleep. The news of Isabella's death spread quickly, reaching Michael, Mark, and Emily. They were shocked and saddened by the loss, but it wasn't long before their thoughts turned to her will and the inheritance she had left behind. Little did they know that Isabella's final gift would be a lesson they would never forget. After Isabella's passing, Michael, Mark, and Emily gathered at the family lawyer's office for the reading of her will. The atmosphere was somber, with a mix of grief and anticipation. They had not been there for her in her final days, but now they were about to learn what she had left behind. Each of them had different expectations. Michael hoped for financial security, Mark anticipated funds to support his new business, and Emily wished for something that could help with her student loans. The lawyer, Mr. Thompson, was an old friend of Isabella's and had known her family for years. He greeted them with a respectful nod and guided them to a small, comfortable room where they could sit and listen to Isabella's final words. Once they were seated, he began to read the will. Isabella Parker was a woman of great heart and strength. In her will, she has expressed her wishes clearly. She wanted her family to understand the true value of love and togetherness, something she felt was lost in her final years. Michael shifted uncomfortably in his seat, while Mark and Emily exchanged nervous glances. They had not expected a lecture, but rather a straightforward reading of the assets. Mr. Thompson continued, "To my beloved husband Michael, I leave the house we shared for so many years. It is filled with memories of our time together, both good and bad. I hope you will find solace within its walls and reflect on the love we once had." Michael nodded, trying to hide his disappointment. The house was valuable, but it was also a constant reminder of his failures as a husband. "To my son Mark," Mr. Thompson read on, "I leave my personal savings account. It is not a large sum, but it represents the sacrifices I made for our family. Use it wisely and remember the importance of hard work and dedication." Mark was visibly relieved, though slightly disappointed. He had hoped for more substantial financial support for his business endeavors, but he understood his mother's intentions. Finally, Mr. Thompson addressed Emily. "To my daughter Emily, I leave my jewelry collection. Each piece has a story, a moment from my life that I cherished. May these jewels remind you of the beauty and strength that lies within you." Emily's eyes filled with tears as she thought of her mother's cherished possessions. The jewelry was not just valuable in terms of money, but it held sentimental worth that Emily would treasure forever. Mr. Thompson paused before continuing. "Isabella also left a letter for each of you, which I will hand over now. She wanted you to read them in your own time, to understand her final thoughts and wishes." He handed each of them a sealed envelope with their names on it. The room was silent as they held the letters, feeling the weight of their mother's final words. Mr. Thompson then revealed the final part of the will. Isabella left a special request. She has donated a significant portion of her estate to a charity that helps families in crisis, in memory of the support she received from her nurse, Anna. She hoped that in her passing, she could still help those in need and remind her family of the importance of compassion and care. The family was taken aback by this revelation. They had not expected Isabella to make such a selfless gesture, especially after feeling neglected by them. It was a stark reminder of the kind of person she was and the values she held dear. As they left the lawyer's office, each of them felt a mix of emotions. They had received their inheritance, but more importantly, they had been given a final lesson from Isabella. The letters in their hands held the key to understanding her true message, and they knew that their lives would be forever changed by her words. That evening, Michael returned home alone. The house, once filled with Isabella's warmth and laughter, now felt empty and cold. He sat at the kitchen table, staring at the envelope with his name written in Isabella's delicate handwriting. With a heavy heart, he opened the letter and began to read. "Dear Michael, if you are reading this, it means I have left this world. I hope my passing has given you time to reflect on our life together. I want you to know that despite everything, I loved you deeply. Our marriage was built on love, but over time, I felt that love was overshadowed by neglect and indifference. When I fell ill, I needed you more than ever, but you distanced yourself. I understand that caring for me was difficult, but it was also the time when I needed your support the most. The pain of your absence was more unbearable than my illness. I felt abandoned and alone, even though you were just a room away. I don't want you to feel guilty, but I do want you to understand how your actions affected me. This house holds many memories, both happy and sad. I hope you take the time to reflect on our life here, to understand the depth of my love for you, and the pain of feeling abandoned by the person I trusted the most. I hope you find peace and use this house to create new, happier memories. Learn from our mistakes and strive to be more present for those you love. Life is too short to be spent in regret and isolation. Love deeply, forgive often, and cherish every moment. With all my love, Isabella. As Michael read the letter, tears streamed down his face. He felt a profound sense of regret and sorrow for how he had treated Isabella in her final days. Her words pierced his heart, and he realized the gravity of his actions. He had not only failed as a husband, but had also lost the opportunity to be there for the woman he loved during her most vulnerable time. Determined to honor Isabella's wishes, Michael decided to make a change. He resolved to reconnect with his children, to be a better father and a more present figure in their lives. He would start by reaching out to Mark and Emily, hoping to mend the rift that had grown between them. That night, Michael walked through the house, remembering the times he and Isabella had shared. He visited each room, letting the memories flood back, feeling the weight of his past mistakes, but also the hope for a better future. He knew that it would not be easy, but he was committed to making things right and living a life that would make Isabella proud. The next morning, Michael called Mark and Emily, inviting them to the house for a family dinner. He wanted to share Isabella's letter with them and begin the process of healing together. It was a small step, but it was the beginning of a journey towards redemption and understanding. Mark returned to his small apartment, feeling a mix of emotions after the reading of his mother's will. He sat at his kitchen table, staring at the envelope with his name. With a deep breath, he opened the letter and began to read. "Dear Mark, by the time you read this, I will have left this world. I want you to know how much I loved you and how proud I was of the man you were becoming. You were always driven and ambitious, traits that I admired. But as you pursued your dreams, I often felt you drifted away from the family. When I became ill, I hoped you would be there for me, not just in a practical sense, but emotionally. I needed to feel your support and presence, but instead, I felt your absence. I understand that your career was important, but I want you to know that there is nothing more valuable than family. I left you my savings not just as financial support, but as a reminder of the sacrifices I made for our family. I hope you use it wisely, to build a future that honors the values I tried to instill in you: hard work, dedication, and above all, love for those who matter most. Please, take this time to reflect on our relationship and the choices you've made. There is always room for change and growth. Reconnect with your family, mend the bonds that have been strained, and never take for granted the people who love you. With all my love, Mom." Mark felt a pang of guilt as he read his mother's words. He had been so focused on his career that he had neglected the one person who had always been there for him. His mother's illness should have been a wake-up call, but he had ignored it, choosing work over family. Determined to make amends, Mark decided to reach out to his father and sister. He knew it would be difficult, but he wanted to honor his mother's memory by repairing the relationships he had neglected. He picked up the phone and called Emily, hoping to start the healing process. "Hey, Emily. It's Mark. Can we talk?" he asked, his voice filled with sincerity. Emily, surprised by the call, agreed. "Of course, Mark. What's on your mind? I read Mom's letter. She made me realize how much I've neglected you and Dad. I want to make things right. Can we meet up and talk?" Mark's voice trembled with emotion. Emily was silent for a moment. Then she sighed. "I read my letter too, Mark. We all have things to work through. Let's meet at Dad's place tomorrow. We can talk and start healing." The next day, Mark arrived at the family home, feeling a mix of apprehension and hope. He was greeted by Michael, who had also read his letter and was eager to mend their relationship. Emily arrived shortly after, and the three of them sat down in the living room. Mark shared his mother's letter with them, and they discussed their feelings, regrets, and hopes for the future. It was an emotional conversation, filled with tears and apologies. But it was also a moment of catharsis, a chance for them to begin rebuilding their family bonds. Mark realized that his mother's inheritance was more than just money. It was a lesson in love and priorities. He vowed to honor her memory by being a better son and brother, and to cherish the family he had taken for granted. As the evening wore on, the tension began to ease. They reminisced about happier times, sharing stories and laughter. It was a small step, but it was the beginning of a new chapter for their family, one built on the lessons Isabella had imparted through her final words. Emily returned to her apartment, the weight of her mother's absence heavy on her heart. She sat on her bed, holding the envelope with her name written in her mother's familiar handwriting. With trembling hands, she opened the letter and began to read. "Dear Emily, by the time you read this, I will have left this world. I want you to know how much I loved you and how proud I was of the woman you were becoming. You have always been compassionate and kind, qualities that I deeply admired. However, I often felt a growing distance between us, especially as you pursued your studies and career. When I became ill, I hoped you would be there for me, not just in a physical sense, but emotionally. I needed to feel your support and presence, but instead, I felt your absence. I understand that life can be overwhelming, but I want you to remember that family is irreplaceable. I left you my jewelry collection not just as a material inheritance, but as a symbol of the love and memories we shared. Each piece has a story, a moment from my life that I cherished. May these jewels remind you of the beauty and strength that lies within you, and the importance of holding your loved ones close. Please, take this time to reflect on our relationship and the choices you've made. There is always room for change and growth. Reconnect with your family, mend the bonds that have been strained, and never take for granted the people who love you. With all my love, Mom." Emily felt tears streaming down her face as she read her mother's words. She realized how much she had taken her mother's presence for granted, always assuming there would be more time. The jewelry, once just beautiful trinkets, now held profound significance, representing her mother's enduring love and the stories of their shared life. Determined to honor her mother's wishes, Emily decided to make amends. She called her father and brother, suggesting they meet to discuss their mother's letters and begin the healing process. "Dad, Mark, can we meet at the house tomorrow? We need to talk," Emily said, her voice filled with emotion. Michael and Mark agreed, sensing the urgency and sincerity in her voice. The next day, they gathered in the family home, each bringing their mother's letter. The atmosphere was heavy with the weight of unspoken words and unresolved emotions. Emily shared her letter, her voice breaking as she read her mother's heartfelt message. They sat in silence for a moment, each lost in their own thoughts. Then, slowly, they began to talk. They shared their regrets, their guilt, and their hopes for the future. It was a difficult conversation, filled with tears and apologies, but it was also a necessary step towards healing. As the evening progressed, they found comfort in each other's presence. They reminisced about their mother, sharing stories and laughter. It was a moment of catharsis, a chance for them to reconnect and begin rebuilding their family bonds. Emily realized that her mother's inheritance was more than just jewelry. It was a lesson in love and priorities. She vowed to honor her mother's memory by being a better daughter and sister, and to cherish the family she had taken for granted. The conversation continued late into the night, with Michael, Mark, and Emily finding solace in their shared memories and mutual support. They knew that the road to healing would be long, but they were committed to walking it together, united by the love and wisdom Isabella had imparted through her final words. In the days following their emotional reunion, Michael, Mark, and Emily spent more time together, reflecting on their mother's letters and the lessons she had imparted. The experience had brought them closer, but there was still one aspect of Isabella's legacy they hadn't fully explored: the charity donation she had arranged. One afternoon, they decided to visit the charity that had received a significant portion of Isabella's estate. Isabella had chosen a foundation that provided support to families in crisis, inspired by the help she had received from Anna, her nurse. The siblings and Michael wanted to see firsthand the impact of their mother's final act of generosity. The foundation was located in a modest building downtown, bustling with activity. They were greeted warmly by the staff, who were eager to show them the various programs and initiatives funded by Isabella's donation. "Your mother was an incredible woman," said the director, Mrs. Thompson. "Her contribution has allowed us to expand our services and help so many families in need. We can't thank her enough." As they toured the facility, Michael, Mark, and Emily saw the tangible results of their mother's generosity. They met families who had been given a second chance, children who were thriving thanks to educational programs, and individuals who had found hope and support during their darkest times. One story, in particular, stood out. A young woman named Sarah approached them, holding a small child. "Your mother's donation saved my family," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. "We were homeless and desperate, but this foundation gave us shelter, food, and the support we needed to get back on our feet. I don't know where we'd be without her kindness." Tears welled up in Emily's eyes as she listened to Sarah's story. It was a powerful reminder of the impact her mother had made, even in death. Mark and Michael were equally moved, feeling a renewed sense of pride in Isabella's legacy. After the tour, they sat down with Mrs. Thompson to discuss how they could continue to support the foundation. Inspired by their mother's example, they decided to volunteer their time and resources to help further the foundation's mission. "We want to honor our mother's memory by giving back," Michael said. "Is there anything specific we can do to help?" Mrs. Thompson smiled. "There are many ways you can contribute. We always need volunteers for our programs, and any additional financial support is greatly appreciated. Your involvement will make a huge difference." In the weeks that followed, Michael, Mark, and Emily became regular volunteers at the foundation. They helped organize events, participated in outreach programs, and provided support to families in need. Through their efforts, they not only honored Isabella's memory, but also strengthened their bond as a family. Working together, they discovered a sense of purpose and fulfillment that had been missing from their lives. They realized that Isabella's final lesson wasn't just about cherishing their family, but also about extending that love and compassion to others. It was a lesson that had transformed their lives and would continue to guide them in the years to come. The experience brought a sense of closure and healing that they desperately needed. They knew that their mother would be proud of the path they had chosen, and they felt her presence guiding them as they moved forward. Isabella's legacy of love and generosity lived on through them, touching countless lives and creating a ripple effect of kindness and compassion. With their involvement at the foundation bringing new purpose to their lives, Michael, Mark, and Emily began to reconnect more deeply as a family. The shared experience of volunteering and helping others provided a strong foundation for rebuilding their relationships. Michael, inspired by Isabella's final wishes, made a concerted effort to be more present in his children's lives. He reached out to Mark and Emily regularly, inviting them for dinners and family gatherings. He also made an effort to engage in meaningful conversations, showing genuine interest in their lives and aspirations. One evening, Michael invited Mark and Emily over for a special dinner. He wanted to create a space for open dialogue, where they could share their feelings and experiences. The house, once filled with memories of neglect and distance, was now becoming a place of warmth and connection. As they sat around the dinner table, Michael spoke first. "I want to thank both of you for being here. Our mother's passing has been incredibly difficult, but it's also given me the chance to reflect on my shortcomings. I wasn't there for your mother when she needed me, and I let both of you down as well. I'm truly sorry for that." Mark and Emily listened intently, their hearts softening at their father's sincere apology. Mark was the first to respond. "Dad, I appreciate your honesty. I've made mistakes too. I was so focused on my career that I neglected my responsibilities as a son and brother. But being involved in the foundation has opened my eyes. I want to be there for you and Emily." Emily nodded in agreement. "Mom's letters were a wake-up call for all of us. I realize now how much I took for granted. We have a second chance to make things right, and I want to make the most of it." The conversation flowed naturally, with each family member sharing their thoughts and feelings. They discussed their memories of Isabella, the lessons they had learned from her, and their hopes for the future. The evening was filled with laughter, tears, and heartfelt moments of connection. In the following weeks, Michael, Mark, and Emily continued to strengthen their bond. They made it a point to spend quality time together, whether it was working on projects at the foundation, having family dinners, or simply enjoying each other's company. They also started a tradition of visiting Isabella's grave together, paying their respects and reflecting on her lasting impact on their lives. The foundation work also brought unexpected joy and fulfillment. They saw firsthand the positive changes in the lives of those they helped, and this reinforced their commitment to making a difference. The gratitude and appreciation from the families they supported were constant reminders of Isabella's enduring legacy. As time went on, the family found a new sense of normalcy. The pain of losing Isabella never completely disappeared, but it was tempered by the love and support they found in each other. They had turned their grief into action, honoring Isabella's memory by living out the values she had instilled in them. Emily, inspired by her mother's courage and compassion, decided to pursue a career in social work. She wanted to help others the way her mother had helped their family. Mark continued to grow his business, but made sure to balance his work with time spent with his family and volunteering at the foundation. Michael, retired from his previous job, dedicated his time to the foundation and his family, finding joy in giving back and being present. Through their shared journey, Michael, Mark, and Emily discovered that healing and growth were possible, even after great loss. They realized that their mother's love and wisdom would always guide them, reminding them to cherish each other and live with compassion and purpose. As life began to settle into a new rhythm of family unity and purposeful work, an unexpected challenge arose. Michael, who had been feeling fatigued and unwell for a few weeks, decided to visit his doctor. After a series of tests, he received a diagnosis that left him stunned. He had a serious heart condition that required immediate attention. Michael sat in the doctor's office, absorbing the gravity of the situation. The doctor explained the treatment options, emphasizing the importance of lifestyle changes and the possibility of surgery. Michael knew he had to break the news to Mark and Emily, but he was worried about how they would react after all they had already been through. That evening, Michael gathered his children at home. He took a deep breath and shared the diagnosis with them, watching their expressions change from concern to determination. "Dad, we'll get through this together," Mark said, his voice steady. You've been there for us, and now it's our turn to support you." Emily, holding back tears, added, "We'll do whatever it takes, Dad. You're not alone in this." Michael felt a surge of gratitude and relief. He had feared that his illness would strain the fragile bonds they had rebuilt, but instead, it seemed to bring them even closer. Mark and Emily immediately took charge, coordinating with doctors and making plans for Michael's treatment and care. The following weeks were challenging. Michael underwent surgery, and the recovery process was slow and painful. But Mark and Emily were by his side every step of the way. They took turns staying with him at the hospital, ensuring he had everything he needed and keeping his spirits high. During one of these hospital stays, Michael had a heartfelt conversation with his children. "I'm proud of both of you," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "Seeing how you've come together and supported me. It means more than you'll ever know. Your mother would be so proud." Mark and Emily exchanged a glance, their hearts swelling with love and pride. "We're just doing what you and Mom taught us," Emily said softly, "to take care of each other and to be there for family." As Michael's health gradually improved, the family's bond grew even stronger. They realized that facing challenges together had brought them closer and made them more resilient. The love and support they shared became a source of strength and hope, helping them navigate the difficulties with grace and determination. When Michael was finally discharged from the hospital, Mark and Emily continued to care for him at home. They adapted their schedules to ensure someone was always available to help with his recovery. They also made a point of involving him in family activities, creating a sense of normalcy and joy. The foundation work continued to be a significant part of their lives. Michael, despite his health issues, remained deeply involved, finding solace and purpose in helping others. His experience with illness gave him a new perspective and empathy for the families they served, strengthening his commitment to the cause. As Michael regained his strength, he reflected on the journey they had all been through. The pain of losing Isabella, the struggles of rebuilding their family, and now his own health scare had tested them in ways they never expected. But through it all, they had found a deeper understanding of love, resilience, and the importance of being there for each other. Michael realized that life's challenges, while difficult, had brought them closer and made them appreciate each other more. They had learned to value every moment, to support each other unconditionally, and to live with a renewed sense of purpose and compassion. As Michael continued to recover, he found solace in the love and support of his children. The experience had not only strengthened their bond, but had also given them a new perspective on life. They realized the importance of cherishing every moment and being there for each other, no matter what. One day, as they were gathered in the living room, Mark had an idea. "Dad, Emily, I've been thinking. We've been doing so much good work with the foundation, but what if we could do more? What if we started our own initiative in Mom's name?" Emily's eyes lit up. "That's a wonderful idea, Mark. We could focus on providing support for families going through similar struggles. It would be a great way to honor Mom's legacy." Michael, touched by the suggestion, nodded. "I think your mother would love that. She always believed in helping others. Let's do it." They began planning their new initiative, naming it the Isabella Foundation. The goal was to provide comprehensive support to families facing medical and financial hardships, offering everything from healthcare assistance to educational programs. They wanted to create a lasting impact, just as Isabella had done. Launching the Isabella Foundation required hard work and dedication. Mark used his business acumen to handle the logistics and financial planning, while Emily focused on outreach and building relationships with community partners. Michael, still recovering but eager to contribute, offered his experience and wisdom, guiding them through the process. The community's response was overwhelmingly positive. Many people remembered Isabella's kindness and were eager to support a cause that honored her memory. Donations poured in, and volunteers offered their time and skills to help the foundation grow. As the Isabella Foundation took shape, the family felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were no longer just recovering from their past. They were actively building a brighter future for themselves and others. The foundation became a symbol of hope and resilience, reflecting the values that Isabella had instilled in them. One of the first projects they undertook was creating a scholarship fund for children from low-income families. Emily spearheaded this initiative, working closely with schools and community organizations to identify students in need. The scholarships not only provided financial assistance, but also mentorship and support to help the students succeed. Another key project was the establishment of a healthcare assistance program. Drawing from Michael's recent experience, they developed a comprehensive plan to support families dealing with serious illnesses. The program offered financial aid, access to medical specialists, and emotional support, ensuring that no one had to face their challenges alone. As the foundation grew, so did the family's sense of fulfillment. They saw firsthand the positive impact of their work, meeting families whose lives had been transformed by the support they provided. Each success story was a testament to Isabella's enduring legacy and the power of love and compassion. The work also brought them closer to the community. They built strong relationships with other local organizations, collaborating on projects and sharing resources. The Isabella Foundation became a cornerstone of the community, a place where people could find help and hope. Michael, Mark, and Emily found joy in their shared mission. They worked tirelessly, but the rewards were immeasurable. They knew they were making a difference, not just in their own lives, but in the lives of countless others. Through their efforts, they also continued to heal. The pain of losing Isabella would never completely fade, but they had found a way to honor her memory and keep her spirit alive. The foundation was a living tribute to her kindness and generosity, a reminder that love could transform even the darkest moments into something beautiful. As they looked to the future, they felt a deep sense of gratitude. They had faced unimaginable challenges, but they had emerged stronger and more united. They had discovered the true meaning of family and the power of giving back. And they knew that, together, they could overcome anything. With the Isabella Foundation thriving, Michael, Mark, and Emily found themselves at the heart of a close-knit community that had rallied around their cause. The foundation had become a beacon of hope, attracting people from all walks of life who wanted to contribute to its mission. One of the key initiatives that brought the community together was the annual Isabella Foundation Fair. Mark suggested the idea as a way to raise funds and awareness while celebrating the spirit of giving that Isabella had embodied. The fair would feature local vendors, entertainment, and activities for families, creating a joyful event that everyone could enjoy. The planning for the fair required months of preparation. Emily took the lead on coordinating the logistics, reaching out to local businesses for sponsorships and donations. Mark handled the financial aspects, ensuring they had the budget to make the event a success. Michael, still recovering but eager to be involved, focused on community outreach, spreading the word about the fair and its purpose. The day of the fair arrived with clear skies and a sense of excitement in the air. The venue was a local park, transformed into a vibrant festival ground with colorful tents, banners, and decorations. Volunteers bustled around, setting up booths and organizing activities. The community's response had been overwhelming, with many people offering their time and resources to help. As families began to arrive, The atmosphere buzzed with laughter and chatter. Children ran from booth to booth, participating in games and enjoying treats, while adults browsed the stalls, bought handmade crafts, and learned more about the Foundation's work. There was a sense of unity and purpose, a shared commitment to making a difference. Michael stood by the entrance, greeting attendees and thanking them for their support. He felt a deep sense of pride and gratitude. This event was a testament to Isabella's legacy and the strength of their community. Mark and Emily moved through the crowd, ensuring everything ran smoothly. They couldn't help but smile at the sight of so many people coming together for a common cause. The fair was more than just a fundraising event. It was a celebration of community spirit and resilience. At the heart of the fair was a memorial booth dedicated to Isabella. It featured photos of her, stories about her life, and a timeline of the Foundation's achievements. Visitors were invited to leave messages of remembrance and hope on a large board. Reading the heartfelt notes, Michael, Mark, and Emily felt a renewed sense of connection to Isabella and the impact she had made. One particularly touching moment occurred when a young girl approached the booth. She shyly handed Emily a drawing she had made, depicting the Foundation's work. "My mom told me about your mom," the girl said. "She sounds like a really nice person. I wanted to make this to say thank you." Emily knelt down to accept the drawing, her eyes welling up with tears. "Thank you so much," she said, hugging the girl. "This means a lot to us." As the day went on, the fair continued to be a resounding success. Local musicians performed on a small stage, adding a lively soundtrack to the festivities. The raffle draw, featuring prizes donated by local businesses, generated excitement and further boosted the funds raised for the Foundation. By the end of the day, the Isabella Foundation Fair had exceeded all expectations. Not only had they raised a significant amount of money, but they had also strengthened the bonds within the community. People left with a deeper understanding of the Foundation's mission and a commitment to supporting its work. That evening, as they gathered at home to reflect on the day, Michael, Mark, and Emily felt a profound sense of accomplishment. The fair had been a tribute to Isabella's memory and a demonstration of the power of community. They knew that, with the continued support of their neighbors and friends, they could achieve great things. The success of the fair also reinforced their belief in the importance of giving back. They resolved to make the Isabella Foundation Fair an annual event, a lasting tradition that would bring the community together and support families in need. It was a fitting legacy for Isabella, a woman whose kindness and generosity had inspired so many. Inspired by the overwhelming success of the Isabella Foundation Fair and the positive impact it had on the community, Michael, Mark, and Emily began to explore new ways to expand the Foundation's reach. They wanted to ensure that Isabella's legacy would continue to grow, touching even more lives and creating lasting change. During one of their planning meetings, Emily proposed an idea. What if we could partner with other organizations to expand our programs? There are so many areas where we could make a difference, from education to healthcare to community development. Mark agreed, his mind already racing with possibilities. We could start by reaching out to local businesses and non-profits. Many of them would be willing to collaborate on projects that align with our mission. Michael, nodding thoughtfully, added, "And we should look into grant opportunities as well. There are many foundations and government programs that fund initiatives like ours. With additional resources, we could significantly increase our impact." They decided to divide and conquer. Emily took charge of contacting potential partners, leveraging her network and communication skills to build relationships with key stakeholders. Mark focused on researching and applying for grants, using his business acumen to craft compelling proposals. Michael, with his wealth of experience and newfound energy, continued to engage the community, rallying support and raising awareness. The first major partnership they secured was with a local hospital. The hospital administration was impressed by the Foundation's healthcare assistance program and agreed to collaborate on providing medical services to underserved families. This partnership allowed the Isabella Foundation to offer free health screenings, medical consultations, and essential treatments to those in need. Next, they partnered with a well-known educational non-profit to create after-school programs for children from low-income families. These programs provided academic support, mentorship, and extracurricular activities, helping students excel in their studies and develop important life skills. Emily worked closely with schools and community centers to implement the programs, ensuring they met the needs of the children they served. The foundation also launched a community development initiative aimed at revitalizing neglected neighborhoods. This project involved renovating parks, creating community gardens, and organizing neighborhood cleanups. Volunteers from the community, local businesses, and other organizations joined forces to transform their surroundings, fostering a sense of pride and ownership. Through these partnerships, the Isabella Foundation's reach grew exponentially. They were able to help more people than ever before, providing essential services and creating opportunities for individuals and families to thrive. The community responded with enthusiasm and gratitude, reinforcing the Foundation's commitment to making a difference. As the Foundation expanded, Michael, Mark, and Emily found themselves busier than ever. They navigated the challenges of growth, from managing increased demands on their time to ensuring the quality and sustainability of their programs. Despite the pressures, they remained united in their mission, drawing strength from their shared purpose and the memory of Isabella's guiding principles. One evening, as they were wrapping up a particularly hectic day, Michael gathered his children for a quiet moment in the garden. The flowers, now fully bloomed under Luna's care, swayed gently in the evening breeze, creating a serene backdrop. "I just want to say how proud I am of both of you," Michael began, his voice filled with emotion. "We've come so far, and we've done it together. Your mother would be incredibly proud of what we've achieved and how we've honored her legacy." Mark and Emily smiled, their eyes shining with gratitude and love. "We're proud too, Dad," Emily said softly, "not just of what we've accomplished, but of how we've grown as a family. We've turned our grief into something beautiful and meaningful." Mark added, "And we're just getting started. There's so much more we can do, and I'm excited for what the future holds." As they stood together, watching the sun set over the garden, they felt a profound sense of fulfillment. They had faced unimaginable challenges and come out stronger, more united, and more determined to make a difference. The Isabella Foundation had not only transformed their lives, but also the lives of countless others, proving that even in the face of adversity, love and compassion could create lasting change. With the Isabella Foundation's success and expanding reach, the impact of their work began to ripple out far beyond their local community. The stories of families helped, lives changed, and neighborhoods revitalized spread, drawing attention and support from across the region and even nationally. One significant development was an invitation for Michael, Mark, and Emily to speak at a national conference on community development and philanthropy. The event brought together leaders from various sectors to share their experiences and insights on creating positive change. The invitation was a testament to the Foundation's achievements and the powerful story of transformation they represented. As they prepared for the conference, the family reflected on their journey. They realized that their story was not just about overcoming personal loss, but also about demonstrating the strength of community and the importance of compassion and dedication. On the day of the conference, they stood before a large audience, feeling a mix of nerves and excitement. Michael began their presentation by sharing the deeply personal story of Isabella's passing and the initial struggles they faced. He spoke about the turning point when they decided to honor her memory by helping others, and how that decision led to the creation of the Isabella Foundation. Mark and Emily then took turns highlighting key projects and initiatives, emphasizing the collaborative efforts that had made their work possible. They shared touching anecdotes of families they had helped, illustrating the real-world impact of their programs. The audience was moved by their sincerity and passion, and many were inspired to take action in their own communities. After the presentation, they received an outpouring of support and interest. Attendees approached them with ideas for potential collaborations, offers of resources, and words of encouragement. The conference not only raised the profile of the Isabella Foundation, but also opened up new opportunities for growth and partnership. Back home, the family continued to build on the momentum. They launched new initiatives based on the ideas and connections gained from the conference. One of the most significant was a mentorship program that paired young professionals with experienced mentors in various fields. This program aimed to empower the next generation of leaders and foster a culture of giving back. The foundation also started a series of community workshops on topics such as financial literacy, health and wellness, and environmental sustainability. These workshops were designed to equip individuals with the knowledge and skills they needed to improve their lives and contribute to their communities. The success of these initiatives reinforced their belief in the power of education and support. They saw firsthand how providing people with the right tools and opportunities could lead to transformative change. As the years passed, the Isabella Foundation became a respected and influential organization. Michael, Mark, and Emily continued to lead with the same passion and dedication that had driven them from the start. They remained deeply connected to their community, always listening, learning, and adapting to meet new challenges. The garden, lovingly tended by Luna, and now a symbol of the foundation's growth and resilience, flourished. It became a place where people gathered for events, workshops, and quiet reflection. A commemorative plaque was installed in the garden, honoring Isabella's memory and reminding everyone of the love and compassion that had inspired their work. On the anniversary of the foundation's founding, the family hosted a special celebration in the garden. It was a day of joy and remembrance, bringing together friends, supporters, and beneficiaries to celebrate their shared achievements and look forward to the future. Michael, speaking at the event, reflected on their journey. "We started this foundation to honor Isabella's legacy, and in doing so, we've created something that goes beyond our wildest dreams. We've seen the power of community, the importance of compassion, and the incredible impact that love can have. I'm grateful to each and every one of you for being part of this journey with us." Mark and Emily, standing beside their father, echoed his sentiments. "This is just the beginning," Emily said. "There's so much more we can do, so many more lives we can touch. Together, we can continue to make a difference." Mark added, "We're committed to carrying forward Isabella's legacy and ensuring that her spirit of kindness and generosity lives on in everything we do. Thank you for being part of this incredible journey with us." As the sun set over the garden, the family looked out at the gathered crowd, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment and hope. They had turned their grief into a force for good, creating a legacy of love that would continue to inspire and uplift for generations to come. Their story was a testament to the enduring power of love, the resilience of the human spirit, and the profound impact that one family's dedication could have on the world. The Isabella Foundation stood as a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the face of loss and adversity, it was possible to create something beautiful and lasting. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment with a number from 1 to 5 to let us know how much you like the story. Also watch the video that is currently on your screen. See you soon.